Bonsoir à vous tous et bienvenue à ce jeudi d'aventure. J'espère que vous allez bien. Donc ce soir, comme vous allez voir, on continue Romance Christmas, Furry Detective Tale. Donc ce fameux visual novel qu'on a commencé depuis depuis jeudi dernier, mais on l'avait commencé avant ça, dans le temps de Noël. Donc justement parce que ça avait le thème de Noël et tout ça. Donc ce soir, on découvre ensemble si l'accident de Enzox est réellement un accident ou si c'est une tentative de meurtre. Donc, est-ce que ce dernier va survivre aussi? Eh bien, est-ce qu'on va voir ensemble? Let's go. Ok. Donc, lorsqu'on recherche, on peut parler, on peut investiguer la scène. Là, vous voyez qu'il y a un cadavre ici. Ce n'est pas le cadavre de Zox, c'est notre fameux Thorn qui a décidé, notre dragon, qui a décidé de se mettre à la place d'Enzox pour faire comme si le corps était là, pour nous aider à imaginer ce que ça aurait dû donner. Donc on va commencer par fouiller parce que j'aime pas trop questionner au début. On commence par fouiller. I have not finished. Go do something else. Okay. Okay, I shall go collect any evidence and testimony from other places first. Things on the first floor are irrelevant to the case. I go check all the guest rooms. Although not everyone can give useful testimony, asking everyone is still necessary. Ok. Well. Donc on a une map où ce qu'on va choisir dans le fond où ce qu'on va aller. Puis, comme il a dit, on était tous au premier étage, donc ça donne absolument rien d'aller voir là. L'accident s'est passé au deuxième étage, mais on a l'attic aussi, où ce qu'on pourrait vérifier le corps. Ce que Elegant est en train de faire, en fait, c'est tout simplement de s'assurer que la scène était de la même façon que quand on est arrivé. Donc, ok. Fait que, on a chacun des pièces des personnages. Chambre n'existe plus, mais on va quand même pouvoir y aller, voir s'il y a quelque chose. Ouais, on va commencer par là. Sean is gone. Yeah, I know. But let's just check it out, just in case. Right. Ok. Est-ce que je peux vérifier? Est-ce qu'on peut le vérifier, là? Unique and solar suitcase, well crafted and stored here. I can open them without their permission. Ok, good. Ça va me dire la même affaire. La Kindle, ils vont me dire unused Kindle. Unused Kindle, elle a l'air allumée. Ok, am I going crazy or is the snow getting heavier? The drawer is empty. Parfait, il n'y a rien à voir de bord dans la fameuse place à pillow. Ok, il n'y a absolument rien. Sean seemed to make the bed in his own way, mais Sean est décédé. But he will never have the chance to lie on it. Exactement, c'est vrai. Malheureusement pour lui, c'est triste. Il n'y a rien d'autre. Ok, fait qu'on va partir d'ici, ça ne nous donnait rien d'aller là, mais on s'est assuré au moins qu'il n'y ait rien de ce côté-là. On va faire la même chose avec Kane, juste au cas où. Kane is not here anymore. La chambre est même très belle, ils ont fait le ménage et tout. I couldn't help thinking of him every time I step into this room. Ils m'ont dit qu'elle n'est pas utilisée. Je verrai. Ah, oui, il faut que je fasse search. A candlestick. No idea if it's the same one from the other night. Je sais pas. There's a little bit of cane smell left on the pillow. The drawer. The thing in the drawer. The window is closed firm. The glue on the door was removed by Darn. Parfait, c'est ça que je me demandais. The pillow. There's a... Ah oui, ok. Le lit. Small drop of blood on the bed sheet. They are a bit faded from time, but still can be seen. C'est pas comme si ça faisait vraiment longtemps qu'il était décédé. Bon, ben, y a rien de ce bord-là non plus. Fait que ça, c'est intéressant. On a déjà kill les deux possibilités qu'il y ait quelque chose qui se soit passé dans une des deux chambres. Peter's doors was tightly locked, and intermittent sobbing came from the door. Peter? I knock on the door, but no reply. Are you okay? The crying grew louder. I think it's better not to disturb him. Fait que lui, là, il capote bien raide, là. Déjà là, qui capotait avec le meurtre de Kane, là, qu'il y a eu une deuxième tentative de meurtre, ça a pas aidé. Erin. On va le chercher. On va chercher son drawer pour commencer. Erin didn't stop me from approaching the nightstand, and I didn't hesitate. C'est toujours la même chose. Erin's Bible is in the drawer, and the rosary is on the nightstand. Enzox was it when he came to fetch the rosary. Then why is the rosary still? I took the rosary and cupped it close to my nose, sniffing deeply. It's the smell, now I remember. After a while, I compare it with the smell of the scene. This smell, il a l'air de savoir de quoi il parle. Mais nous, on ne le sait pas. Prayer rope added to clue. Prayer rope, but player rope. Right? Rosary. Aaron's rosary made of hemp, with the feet crossed its segment. It looks heavily used. Aaron found it at the scene and took it back. Pourquoi qu'il l'aurait ramené? C'est louche. La chandelle. I can know neither the worst nor the best. Okay, la fenêtre. It's still snowing. There's nothing left here to scrutinize. I should go somewhere else. On va y parler par exemple. Rosary. By the way, don't you always carry your rosary with you? Most of the time. But I left it at my bedside this time. Unlucky. Pourquoi c'est encore là? On peut poser des questions? Ah non, c'est la même affaire. The course of the event. Can you remember what happened before the diner? Ça pas long, ça se peut que ça coupe. Il y a juste une petite vérification à faire de l'autre côté. Ça a pas coupé. Cool, ok, good. Before the diner, I propose we pray before the meal to glorify God. Then Enzox went upstairs to get my rosary, which I had forgotten. Unfortunately, something bad happened in the end. Maybe it was the punishment of God for my laziness. That's not right. Huh? This isn't divine judgment. Hey, Allah, comment vas-tu? It's murder. If God wants to punish someone, it should only be the murderer. As for finding out who the murderer was, it is my responsibility. Mal partout. Grosse soirée d'escaladière. Suddenly, I think you are even a little handsome. Pourquoi? Pourquoi? Just a little. What? About Exox. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you've been handling Exox recently. Really? For example, pouring drinks for you this morning? Just a few times? C'est le culprit, ouais. Aaron tapped his finger a few times. Isn't it normal to help someone get something? Just to be nice to others? Une couple de clous qui se sont rajoutés là. On va essayer de garder en tête un peu plus les clous cette fois-ci pour que ça aille un petit peu plus vite lors des... Et ouais, il y a quelque chose qui marche pas de mon côté. Et voilà, disparu. Pour se garder un petit peu plus de facilité, mais qu'on arrive dans les questionnements. Donc, hello. J'avais perdu mon appui-bras. Bien que sa voix, je l'imagine plus ricaneuse, aiguë, je trouve que ta voix est faite aussi. Ouais, ben en fait, parce que je trouvais que, tu sais, Aaron, c'est un des derniers personnages qui est arrivé, hein. Puis je trouvais que j'avais déjà beaucoup de personnages un peu aigus. Fait que j'étais comme... Je voulais pas en faire un autre de plus. Ça serait tout ressemblé à un moment donné, je trouve. Fait que... On a Anzac, ce qui est quand même aigu. Storm, je l'ai changé vers le plus normal, limite aigu. On a 2 ou 3 filles qui étaient aiguës. On a Peter qui est aigu. Je trouvais que ça commençait à s'assembler, tandis que dans les voix... lui, je l'ai fait un peu plus rauque, genre vieille personne. Je trouvais que ça fitait aussi un peu avec une hyène. Mais dans les voix graves aussi, on avait une certaine... On avait Charles aussi qui était aigu, by the way. En tout cas, Aaron has been ordering Enzox around these past 2 days. Ça, c'est intéressant. Aaron suggested to pray before a meal, and Enzox went upstairs to get his rosary, then the accident happened. Fait que ça là, le fait qu'il a demandé de prier puis d'avoir son rosary peut l'aider à l'accident. Fait que ça peut être lui qui est tout orchestré, right? Surtout qu'il a repris le rosary puis qu'il l'a ramené dans sa chambre. Pourquoi il aurait volé un clou comme ça? C'est louche. C'est louche en tabarnouche, right? En tout cas, moi je trouve ça très très louche, là. C'est quoi ça? Ah, c'était ok. Pourquoi je le demande à chaque fois? Pourquoi je le demande à chaque fois? Bon. Fait que là, de ce côté-là, on a fait Erin, on a fait Kane, on a fait Cham. On a clearé les deux pièces qu'il y avait personne dedans, juste pour être sûr qu'il n'y ait pas un indice qui se soit retrouvé là pour absolument rien. Puis là, ah non, on a déjà fait Peter. Ça donne absolument rien. Ok, on va aller voir le Ludic and Solar. On va chercher. Tiens, on va regarder ça encore. A handbell for calling Cham. But no one would respond to the bell now. Effectivement, le bug. On va chercher en premier. La capacité. La chandelle. A candle, neither the worst nor the best. The drawer. Est-ce que tu peux nous laisser l'ouvrir, s'il te plaît? I was approaching the nightstand when Ludic came to and stood between me and it. Something I can help you with, Monsieur Roman? So much for checking that. May I check the drawer? There's no article in the drawer. In relation about this crime, I presume. Ludic's lips curve into a fine smile. As a Marquis, I possess the privilege to refuse any unjustifiable search. I think Peter might have been right about unfairness the other day. Ok, fine. Il n'y a rien dans le lit, c'est sûr à 100%. Il n'y a absolument rien qu'on peut checker. C'est the double bed is the only double suit in the tavern. No one stays here the most of the time. Ok, fait qu'on va les questionner, c'est tout ce qu'on peut faire malheureusement. Je pense pas que ça a les rapports avec eux autres. So, Marquis, can you recall what happened today? Well, if I recall, after the sun rose, Sarn called everyone to go downstairs. I had just awoken, so I went downstairs together with Solar. Sarn advised us not to disturb you, so you stayed asleep until we had finished le petit déjeuner, and later you came downstairs somnolent. So I was the only one who hadn't eaten for the whole day. There were approximately 3 or 4 people who went down. I was taking a nap in the afternoon, so I know nothing of that. And le dîner, I haven't had it yet. That made me even hungrier. To conclude, Perrin didn't bring his rosary, so Anzax went upstairs to assist him. Then the unfortunate incident occurred. Thank you for your cooperation. Okay, Solar. Marquis Solar. I wonder if I could ask you a few questions. Why? Of course! Have you ever noticed anything odd during the day? I could smell the scent of orange blossom, jasmine and vanilla on Solar. Ok, pourquoi il prend le temps de dire ça? It was like just come from the southern part of the kingdom. I didn't notice anything bizarre. I watched you lot play with darts before noon. Then in the afternoon, I was taking a nap. Hello, Majestic, comment vas-tu? I tried to stop my nose from sniffing too hard. Pourquoi qu'elle... De même? Pourquoi qu'elle shake? Ça, c'est louche. Ça, c'est vraiment louche. C'est une de trucs qu'elle pourrait facilement être incriminée, genre, être une suspecte. Autre chose, elle n'a pas participé au dard. Elle aurait eu le temps, peut-être, que pendant qu'on était occupé à jouer au dard, de monter, aller placer le piège pour pouvoir qu'Enzox meure. Ça va bien, merci. Content que ça aille bien de ton côté aussi. Ça se pourrait. I do apologize if that was a little... I do apologize if that was of little help. It's okay, it's fine. J'ai rien d'autre à leur dire. J'ai absolument rien d'autre à leur dire. Absolument rien d'autre. On va checker dans notre pièce. Juste au cas où. Je sais, on aurait dû commencer par le corps. Je voulais garder ça pour la fin. On peut pas aller au premier, by the way. Il n'y a rien qui s'est passé au premier, donc aucun truc intéressant. Et le gars n'est pas dans sa chambre. Je pense qu'elle va nous bloquer pour quand même qu'on y aille. On va aller dans notre chambre. Je pense pas qu'il y ait vraiment quelque chose à voir dans notre chambre, mais d'un coup, des fois, que quelqu'un aurait planté de quoi dans notre chambre, ok? The pillow at the White Star Tavern are comfortable, but I can't fall asleep now. Effectivement. I'm too hungry to fall asleep. The candle in my room. The candle in my room. Il n'y a même pas de. En tout cas, la phrase n'est pas. What? It isn't so different from the others. Non, drawer, it's quelque chose. This is the evidence from my last case and another book. I kept notes in. Oh, nice, likely. Check notes. Alright, okay, why not? 20 December, 20. 1285. What? What? J'ai oublié ça, hein? Y'a-tu quelqu'un qui lit le mandarin? Il y a un clou qui s'est rajouté. Un peu. Y a-tu vraiment un clou qui s'est rajouté? Ça, le luggage. Too large suitcase, very sturdy. Got an index on the just was bumping. Like a bit, I guess, I'll put. Case note. Okay. The notes on the serial murder at the 3rd Avenue Street apartment in Sunnyvale. The victims were all found near balconies or windows, dead from blood loss. Chest had a single piercing wound, deep into the viscera. The suspects, located across the street, randomly killed the resident with a bow and arrow tethered with thin string. Ok, bon. Je sais pas si ça va vraiment avoir une importance quelconque cette fois-ci. Who knows? La seule affaire qui est plate, c'est qu'on n'est pas pu lire vraiment ce qui est écrit. Mais au moins, on a quelque chose en anglais pour nous aider un petit peu, là. Ah, ouais, ça c'était assez comique, hein. Ok, fait qu'il y avait rien là. Il nous reste Vincel. Vincel. Yanis. On va aller avec Yanis parce que je me rappelle plus la voix que j'ai faite pour Vincel. Il est pas là. Il est en haut, c'est vrai. On va chercher. There's still nothing in the drawer. Il n'y a rien à checker nulle part. I can hold in the drawers nor the bed. Neither the worst. The pavement in front of the tavern is covered with thick snow. Hyène had slept here, so the quilt is almost reaching the ground, and this room is gradually being filled with shark smell. Je sais pas pourquoi. Y'a rien ici, y'a rien. Well, ok. On va y aller, c'est pas grave. Vincent, les deux doivent être dans l'attic avec. Voyons. Comment il s'appelle déjà? Notre ami, là. Handox. On peut checker? Vincent's luggage. The clothing inside it are embroidered with fancy pattern in dark thread. Okay, fine. Pillow haven't been used, so they look fluffy. Oh, la chandelle. Let's go la chandelle. A kettle, neither the worst nor the best. Toujours la même chose dans le drawer. Il y a quelque chose, le drawer is still empty. Y'a rien. Il nous manque l'attic. Ah oui! Trivy, il est là! On avait lui aussi qui avait une voix quand même aiguë. On a Enzox qui est toujours couché sur le ventre. Le pauvre! Trivy's medicine box, heavy, fine. Le livre de Trivy, mais je pense pas que ça va nous dire quelque chose de plus que la dernière fois. Trivy's book. There is a blurred dragon and weird sigils scrawl on the cover. Adzak's bed. He sleeps here almost every stay at the White Tavern Star, White Star Tavern. Now is lying on it to right. Maintenant il est couché to right. Mais non, t'as pas un clou. Ok, le 3 livres dans le Belong to Tsarn, Trivy and Adzak's. Imaginez si on perd Trivy. Usually, Tsarn put two bed together and use the third for filling the breeze. Y'a rien d'autre? Ok, les clés, on va juste regarder s'il y a quelque chose qui est changé. Times key hanging on the bedside. The keys will be here if there are any unoccupied room, but only Tsarn has the cellar key, and it's not in the keychain. Intéressant. C'est pas dans le keychain. On n'oubliera pas tantôt qu'il avait perdu les clés, hein. C'est quoi cet angle de vue-là? C'est même bizarre, avec un don nothing special, ouais. Ok. Les bottes. Science junk pile of là. Old amp rope. Decoration. Angel wings from an old costume. You name it. Ok. Le lit. Science bed. They were originally two, but one of them was given to 3V. Ok, je pense pas qu'il y ait autre chose à checker là. Ah, peut-être. Attendez un petit peu, on peut-tu regarder la corde? Non, ok. The round skylight, there's light coming through. Nice. Snow spilling up on the window. C'est sûr. Bon, ok. Ah non! On va parler. Oh, on peut parler à une Zax? Pas sûr qu'il va nous répondre. Pas sûr du tout. What do you think happened this time? I'm not familiar with Enzox, but I'm not surprised someone finds him to be annoying, based on how he behaves while we share this room. Why? He plays with Loup at night, while in his bed. On n'avait pas périsé son Loup? While I understand some nobles will hire musicians to play music while they sleep, I don't think that's quite my preference. What can you tell me about Enzox's injuries? His skills perfectly deflected the blow, but the actual wound isn't deep. It still bled heavily though, and it's still a head injury. When do you think he'll wake up? Best case scenario? A few days. That's assuming that there isn't significant trauma to the brain or internal bleeding. I'd be lucky to wake up at all if that thing hit me. If it weren't for his scale, or if it had struck him on his neck, he likely wouldn't have survived. I'm pretty sure the last place anyone unconscious would want to be is here. That's unsettling. That's all I need. On peut-y parler? I bent down to gaze at Enzox. He was lying on the bed, his head wrapped with white cloth, with the uninjured side down. By the way, is it possible for dragons to lie flat on the back? Or would their horn pierce through the pillow or something? Poke him. I poke his tummy. Il est pas couché sur le ventre. Though covered with scale, it was unexpectedly bouncy. Detective, what are you doing? Please, don't disturb the patient. I'm not doing anything. I drew back my hands. Je vous jure qu'on continue de les gosser. Anzax! No shouting, it's all Ali. I thought I could rouse him and get a statement. Ask him after he has recovered. Okay, well. Où est? Où est notre shark? Où est notre requin, guys? Sérieusement, où est notre requin? Ensuite, on va aller voir les clous, là, qu'est-ce qu'on a eu de nouveau. Curie's testimony, if the ladder struck Enzox's skin to the fall apart, or someone without scale, it could have been fatal. Ok. C'est ça ce que je trouve là. Sarn had put everything in order except for this cup. Weird. Sarn had cleared the dust of the barrel and rearranged them. Le cellar chains that... Oh, c'est Phil Sharp. Il y a juste Sarn avec ses scales qui peut pas se faire blesser par rapport à ça. C'est weird que la clé du cellar soit pas venue. Ok, ils sont là. Good. Je pense pas qu'on ait quelque chose à chercher ben ici. Je pense pas qu'il y ait d'indice au premier. Le cop. Wooden spiral stairs. Everyone was on the stair at the time. strong enough to hold so many people for a second time. La chandelle. A candle, nothing special. No, chandelle. A candle, nothing special. Right. Le fur. Le beau fur. The fireplace was still warm and bright, but the Christmas atmosphere in the tavern is now so gloomy and cold. A wooden cup. Donc jusqu'à maintenant, vous pensez que c'est qui? Moi c'est ça qui m'a irrité. C'est qui aurait pu faire cet accident-là? A candle, nothing special. Y'a rien d'après moi nulle part. There are still some drop of gravy, which were not wiped out. A wooden cup. Another wooden cup. Ah, wait. There's a smell of cold food coming from the kitchen. Ouais, c'est de l'autre bord, j'allais. Ok. On parlait avec nos deux amis. Vincel and Yanis were sitting at either end of the long table. Vincel is leaning over the back of the chair, and Yanis is bent over the table. The meat stew is still hot, and steam is still getting out from the pot cover. Mr. Vincel, I wonder if it is convenient for you to answer me some question. Of course, my good detective. Ask your question. Can you remember what happened before and after the dinner? Technically, it's not even after dinner yet. Well, Arian suggested we pray before the meal. Then he said that he forgot his rosary and waited to go upstairs to fetch it. Henzax was nearer to the stairs, so he went to go fetch it. Then we heard the sound. I see. Un peu. Ok, that's all for now. Il y avait juste ça? Ah ben oui, c'était juste ça. Ok. C'est triste. What do you think happened this time, Yanis? Hope it's just an accident. It will be terrible if anything happens again, especially on Christmas. And if there's a killer among us, I can't exactly say I can relax. Oh, why can't they just surrender instead of playing hide and seek? Ain't like attempt murder would result in a death sentence? Would you just wait patiently at the docks after you got in a fight with someone? Damn straight. About Enzax. What do you think about Enzax? Nothing special, just a bard. Nothing special? He hangs around in a bunch of taverns and only stays for a few days. So it's not like he has much time to make friends or enemies. I doubt anyone willing to lend him money. Nothing never works. Anyhow, I don't understand why anyone would want to kill him. What was with you objecting to a prayer before dinner? Everything was fine without it. If there wasn't so much drama for today. By the way, wasn't it the first mealtime prayer we had this whole time? Yeah. Ah, intéressant. Ok, that's all for now. On a eu plusieurs autres clous. Des indices. Vincel, encore là, lui, il vient nous confirmer que Erin a suggéré de prier avant le repas. Elle disait que c'est allé en haut pour le rosary, puis l'accident est arrivé. Donc, ça concorde avec ce qu'Erin a dit. Fine. Ok, c'était la première prière avant les repas de ces derniers jours. Right. Ok, c'est tout ce qu'on a de Yanis. C'est tout ce qu'on a de Yanis. Well, ça regarde pas bien. Ok. Ça regarde pas bien. Qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire d'autre? Je pense qu'on va aller juste checker la cuisine juste pour être sûr. Le couteau, d'un coup, des fois que. Je sais que ça n'a aucun rapport, mais il va sûrement avoir un rapport plus tard avec. A knife stuck in a chopping board. Voyons, j'ai bien eu de la misère à dire. Il n'y a rien de nouveau là. Ham knife, slicing knife, vegetable chopper, and bread slicer are on the knife rack. Ok, list 2. Cold meat stew in the pot. The broth has congealed. Ok. C'est drôle. Cold meat stew in the pot, la même affaire. Bref, j'ai pas cliqué là, mais merci. The level of the water's gone down a bit since yesterday. On a cliqué là, by the way. The fire's died out. Fait que là, la dernière place qu'il nous reste à checker, c'est la toilette. Malheureusement, il n'y a rien à voir dans la toilette. À part la belle petite musique. There are brown hairs floating on the water surface of the sink and it looks different from mine. L'autre. La même affaire. On peut se regarder dans le miroir. On est trop beau, tu sais. I almost lost myself in the mirror, staring at the heavy dark circles under my eyes. Il dort plus. C'est un peu normal. I haven't eaten for a whole day, so I have nothing to excrete. Ok. C'est un peu logique. Bon, ben, hein, fait que. Hop, let's go. Le corridor. Est-ce que t'as fini, Legan? Qu'est-ce que tu fais comme mouvement, Legan? Fern, can you move over a little and take a look? Excuse me, I have something to ask you. Very well, just be quick. Assumption about the incident. What do you think happened this time? I think an acquaintance did this. Why? Only someone we knew and Zach's well would predict his behavior and sabotage Noël later. J'ai de la misère avec le mot là. So you say. What's the situation with the scene? Speak with the others first. I am still figuring it out. If there are some clues. Yeah, j'ai parlé à tout le monde. I need to concentrate to figure this out. Those who went upstairs. Who has gone upstairs today? Both morning and afternoon. Do you not remember that? I'm just trying to confirm it. Today, Trippy went upstairs first, then you. Vincent was upstairs during the darts game. Then everyone was just staying in the hall during the afternoon. Ah. And Zach's name is also on the list of your room. Care to explain? It may be a coincidence. Never mind. I may be tempted to burn that book. What if it's some sort of curse book, notebook, that kills everyone whose name is written in it and crossed out? Ouais, bien sûr que t'as le dead book. Le dead note. I never expected that you believe in curses. I'm done. Go about your business. I crouched down to talk to Tarn, who was lying under the ladder. Is it alright if I ask you something? Not unless I want you to open my mouth wide enough to answer. Well, I think you also don't speak Draconic. What can you tell me about the ladder to the attic? Other than the fact that it's currently on top of me? Well, it's heavy. If it dropped on someone your size, they might die. Then why did you install this in the tavern? Normally, I'm the only one living in the attic. I don't operate the ladder when there are guests nearby, so I didn't expect it to hit someone. By the way, when Anzax came to the tavern, he usually slept with me in the attic. Slept with him? Okay. Not to be rude, but could you hurry up? My head's getting sore. Yes! On peut chercher. La corde. La corde est brisée. C'est ce qu'on se rappelle, hein? The wooden door is not broken. Okay, the wooden door. Ouais, ok, c'est ça que t'as attaché là, right? Intéressant. Most of the remains of the wooden doll were tangled in rope and swayed in the air. The wooden doll looks like it bent and then broke. The color is very new. The color is very new. The cross-section of the wooden doll has many sharp wooden splinters, and it seems that several of them broke. Intéressant. Wooden doll. A rope is usually wrapped around it, but now it's been broken, leaving only the base to the wall. The wooden doll looks like it bent and broke. The color is very new. Ok, c'est la même affaire que... intéressant. Il y a du sang. The ladder is now on Sarn head, with Enzak's block stuck in it. Oh no. A ladder like this could knock even Enzak's into a coma. Intéressant. You're alright? Is the ladder too heavy for you? No! Just finish this quickly! Enzak's wound is on the back of his head. Won't do this on Sarn, though. Trop une grosse tête. I took some notes. Here! Autopsie, intéressant. No! Y'a rien d'autre vraiment à checker. Hein? Blood on the floor. Sarn's muscular back. Merci. When he isn't so busy, he will untie the belt on his wings and flap his wings. That's the reason his wings are so strong. Bref, je pense pas qu'on ait grand chose d'autre à voir. Là. La main, je pense pas qu'elle va changer grand chose. C'est un strong arm. On the right, ah ouais, non, c'est ça. Puis on the left, c'est les autres personnes. Mais je pense pas qu'on ait grand chose d'autre à voir ici. C'est bizarre. C'est vraiment bizarre. Le ladder. The ladder was suspended from the attic ceiling by a rope and lifted along the rugged rail. Ouais, donc ça, on l'a déjà lu. I searched everywhere else. Time to focus on the crime scene from now on. On peut sniff. Je veux juste voir les clous qu'on a eu là. Ladder, ok, parfait. Le wooden handle qui est important. Good. Fait que là, ok. Mais, the rope was rough. The handle was many splatters. Yep. Without the specific color of old wood. Okay. C'est weird. Bon, ben, let's go and sniff. I took a deep breath, praying to sniff out the murderer. Although it doesn't work all the time, it saved me a lot of trouble. The scent of blood is too strong. I can connect the scents with these people. Might as well pay more attention to the scents. Okay, I close my eyes and breath in and out through my nose. Wait. Different races and different things smell different. When they interact with each other, they'll leave the unique scent on each other. If I close my eyes and sniff carefully, I can locate the position and every other they restore them to the scene. The more similar reinteraction methods, place and times are, the more similar the scent is. They smell like something at the crime scene. The latter smell of blood. Smells like sweat and silver. What does that mean? The scent grows thicker at the bottom. Sound like ears with a totally different scent. It's hard enough to simulate position, but way too hard to simulate the scent. Like luckily, Enzak's scent still lingers. The handle crackened. Enzak's and the murderer, but both touch it. The smell make me nervous. No special scent on that rope. What smell like the rosary? The handle smells a bit like the rosary, just a bit. Let me put it this way: the base scent differ. The base scent differ. What smells like the rosary? The ladder. The ladder smells just like the rosary. This usually means they have contacted a lot. But why? What should that should do it? The evidence that I have is enough. It's time to find out the truth. Êtes-vous prêts? Êtes-vous prêts, guys? Qui vous pensez qui est en arrière de tout ça? Do you wish to save the progress? Yep. After a thorough search, I asked everyone to come to the attic for trial. If Enzak wakes up during the process, maybe I can solve the case more quickly. This time, Enzak won't jump in with some strange theory to influence my conclusion when I have no idea. Although, that was one of my wishes. I didn't want it to happen this way at all. I sat on the edge of Anzac's bed, waiting for everyone to gather in the attic. Elegant climbed up lightly, so light that I didn't even notice her. This place. This place. It may become problematic if we try to fit everyone up here. Let Enzax listen to the process, although I don't know if he can hear it. It will be fortuitous if you woke up and at an inopportune moment. Then his footsteps thumped heavily on the ladder. Can't wait. We just discussed it in the hall. Can we just discuss this in the hall? Maybe we can talk while eating. I don't think you can focus on the case while spending this too. Everyone came upstairs to the attic, which made the already small room become even more crowded. The wooden floor under our feet seemed to settle a little, and a sharp frictional creaking was produced when anyone moved. I started to think it was a bad idea to put 11 people in the attic. Peter sat next to Zorn and bowed his head without saying a word, as if her was trying, whatever, was trying to curl up beside him. Lunik and Solar had a look at me. Just like before, let's try to keep things as simple and clear as possible. No overcomplicating things. If this really was just an accident, then there's no need to assume there's a murderer among us. So was Duck's injury an accident, or was it deliberately set up? Is it possible he was unable to operate the ladder and accidentally broke the handle? Impossible! Hold it. Why are you so sure? He sleeps in the attic every time he comes here. Nothing ever happened to him. Then he went up or down. It's quite impossible for him to make such a mistake. Well, you have known him for a long time after all. I added to my notes. But who would want to kill an Enzox? I don't remember if he's got any enemies. Besides, most of us here have only known him for merely a day. Is that all somebody needs to kill? Let's put motive aside. I can figure it out either. Is that so? I want to find out those who was able to commit this crime first. Is it possible that the handle was stressed already? And it was about to break anyway? If so, Elflex is just unlucky enough to trigger it? Impossible! Hold it again? Why? The handle is strong enough to bear the weight of the ladder. That's right, I have investigated this handle thoroughly. Why was the handle not likely to break soon? Rope tangle on the handle. The wood handle has bent down. Was bent down. There are no color deposition on the splinter. The splinter was blunt. The rope was wrapped around the wooden handle. The other side of the rope was attached to the ladder. So? It seemed that it had nothing to do with the if the handle break. The rope was wrapped around the handle. Okay. The wooden handles were bent and broken all recently. Without the deposit. Okay. The handle has many sharp splinters. Some of them were broken. There are no color deposit on the splinter. Why? The wooden handle was bent down. The wooden handle was bent down. So what? The weight of the weight of the ladder passed through the rope and pulled the handle up. So if it was an accident, the handle should be broken upwards. Indeed it is. Indeed it was, Roman. It is just a guess. By the way, I felt strange when I retrieved my rosary. It was neither in Enzo's sense, nor pressed under him, but on his back. Why didn't you tell me something that important earlier? I just remembered it. In short, it seems that there are a lot of details that cannot be explained right now. Let's rule out whoever couldn't have tampered with the ladder. The ladder, whatever. The first people we can exclude are... Who can be excluded? Tout le monde qui reste en bas. Anyone who hasn't been upstairs today. So the main suspects now are Trevi, Vincel, and myself. First, let's ask them one by one. How do you ask yourself? I just confess when it's my turn. Very well, you first, please. We'll go in order. Trevi, what were you doing when the accident happened? I was... Trevi gestured with both hands in the air. Waiting for Aaron to finish praying? Ah? Didn't everyone do this at the time of the incident? What did you do upstairs this morning? Let me think. I went upstairs to the attic to get the book on my bedside. When I went upstairs, I tried to pull the ladder but failed. So I went downstairs to call Roman for help. Damn, that makes me seem suspicious. I need to do something to direct the suspicion to the real murderer. Something smells fishy. Maybe I'll press harder for further information. Which point to ask? Bedside book. No. What? The book on the bed. The one with the cover you can read. Although I think it has nothing to do with this case. Why did you fail to put away the ladder? You do realize the ladder weighs more than I do, right? How can I? Mais pourtant son case est tellement lourd. Why did you call me to help lift the ladder at that time? I happened to meet you on my way down. In other words, if you happened to meet someone else, you would have asked them to help you? That's correct. Please add what you just mentioned to your testimony. Very well. Please testify again. Ah, si j'aime pas ça quand ils font ça. I went upstairs to the attic to get the book on my bedside, the thick one. It was so light that I couldn't move it. I saw Roman at the entrance of the stairs when I went downstairs, and then asked him to help. So he just happened to meet me, and I didn't know in advance that I had a choice to... Are you sure? This is all wrong. Why were you standing at the staircase if you didn't want to go upstairs? I did intend to go up, but I didn't intend to break the ladder. On the contrary, I can prove that I had no chance to tamper with the ladder. What is the reason I couldn't have sabotaged the ladder? I just stayed upstairs for a while, which meant I didn't have enough time to sabotage the ladder. If I remember correctly, Trevi and Vincel stayed upstairs only for a short time. This point is not convincing. Master Vincel, would you care to testify? Oh damn, Vincel tightened his glove and adjusted his tie. Of course. I didn't stay up long upstairs, so I had no chance to do anything to the ladder. I even didn't notice the ladder. Come to think of it, if I had observed the ladder at the time carefully, I might have found a trace left by Mr. Detective. Please don't speculate when you testify. Besides, Enzax and I don't know each other. Why would I harm him? And it was not I who asked for the rosary. something smells fishy. Maybe I'll press harder for further information. C'est bizarre. You didn't notice the ladder, really? Yeah, the ladder was not on the corridor like it is now. How could I notice it? Why this? You imply that I'm the murderer. What do you want to do? Don't target me because of this, Mr. Detective. Avenging personal wrongs is the name of public interest. In the name of public interest is a violation of the law. You. How long did you stay upstairs? Probably from the time throwing darts was proposed to the time dart game was ready to start. You and Azox really haven't met before? Why would I lie? The taverns I frequent aren't quite as low. Vincent glanced at the annoyed Charn and beside him and shed a smile. What you ask, Rosary? Why did you just mention the Rosary? Was that strange? This whole mess happened because Erin was going upstairs to get the Rosary. Ok. Rajoute ça à tout ton qu'est-ce que t'as déjà dit, puis refais ton témoignage. Just testify again. I was upstairs for the time the dart game was proposed until the dart were ready. So I didn't have that much time to fiddle with the ladder. The ladder was stored in the attic, and I didn't notice it at all. Come to think about it, if I had observed the ladder at that time carefully, I might have found a trace left by Mr. Detective. Strike that last sentence. I haven't met the Red Dragon before, and here it was just a brief acquaintance. I have no motivation to murder him. It was Erin who mentioned the Rosary, and it was none of my business. All the suspects have been questioned now. There seems to be nothing wrong. But after hearing testimonies, I want to add another suspect. Have we not confirmed that the rest have not gone upstairs? Unnecessary suspects should be ruled out. Sean wasn't on the list at first yesterday, but eventually. So, who are you talking about? I would say Erin. I think it was Erin. I think so. As the owner of the Rosary, do you have anything to explain? Is there anything to explain? For example, did you go upstairs during the day? Why was the Rosary not with you? Why did you pray before meals today? And tell me anything you think was strange. Okay. I have been downstairs all day, and I believe everyone can testify to that. I left my Rosary in my room, so I had to go upstairs temporarily today. Ah bah oui, tu viens de dire... Ok, t'as vu. What's wrong with praying before meals? Speaking of something strange, the door in my room was locked. Does that count? Something's a little fishy, maybe I'll press okay. Regarding the Rosary, I would like to ask a question. Why was the Rosary on Adzax when the incident occurred? How should I know? Why did you pick it up? I didn't think about it. I thought it was my stuff. What should I ask? Why did you pray before the meal today? Seems strange. I have prayed before every meal. Is that a problem? Why was your door being locked? It's strange. Don't you know? I never lock the door. What? I believe in God, physically and mentally. I believe that God can protect me from all calamities. So the door was unlocked when you left today? Absolutely. That was... Let me write it down. Did you go upstairs today even once? Everyone saw me. Of course not. What should I ask? Well, please add what you mentioned to your testimony. Shall. Please testify again. I haven't gone upstairs today, and everyone here can testify to that. I left my rosary in my room, so I had to go upstairs. As for how it got on the exhaust, I have no idea. I have prayed before every meal. It's common. So I didn't do so openly out of respect for time. It didn't lock my door, but I found that my door was locked after the accident today. I really don't understand why. There is something obviously wrong. Okay. Qu'est-ce qui pourrait être wrong? Le rosary qui aurait... Comment que... Enzox aurait pu aller au rosary, chercher le rosary, alors que la porte était barrée. Ça, je trouve ça louche. C'est vraiment louche. Then how did the rosary get on Alexa's back? Non, c'est pas ça. I don't know. We reconstruct the crime with Sarn playing with the part of Enzox. Non, correct. Checking out the way people interact with things, yep, the scents were mixed, the wooden doll smelled different from Sarn and the Kraken doll. The smell at the ladder bottom is similar to that of the rosary. The rosary should have been on Enzo's back at that time, when the ladder hit him. So the rosary should have been there at the moment of the accident. Why? I smelled a similar scent on both. So, is there any contradiction with my testimony? No. Ok, ça c'était louche. Il est devenu enragé tout d'un coup. But the ladder bottom is similar of that of the rosary. C'est pas sur le dos de Enzox qu'on a senti ça, right? Il a pas de mentionner ça. Maybe this one. Think before you speak. Je suis sûr qu'il a la fin de la porte, c'est sûr. Oh! C'est tellement weird des fois, là. Non, il a encore refusé. The open door, the wooden window, c'est weird. I just know how to use the ladder. Okay. Freeze if the ladder struck Enzox in the middle part or someone without kills. I didn't lock my door, but I found that my door was locked after the accident. I really don't understand why. Il n'y a pas de clé qui manquait, right? On a vu en haut qu'il n'y avait pas de clé qui manquait. It's too fishy. Hardest... Oh, come on. C'est ça l'affaire, c'est qu'il y a plein d'affaires qui peuvent faire du sens. Comme là, comment que la clé peut être barrée, comment que la porte peut être barrée si la clé n'a pas été prise, right? La seule personne qui peut barrer la porte dans ce cas-là, c'est Enzox. Pas Enzox, c'est voyons, Erin. I left my rosary in my room, so I had to go upstairs. Well, I have gone upstairs today, and everyone can testify to that. I left my rosary in my room, so I had to go upstairs. As for how it got on that dogs, I have no idea. I've prayed before every meal. It's common though. I didn't do so openly out of respect for Tsar. C'est bizarre parce qu'en plus de ça, on peut même pas voir qu'est-ce qu'on a choisi. Wait. This is all wrong. Yannis a dit ça, ouais, mais... En tout cas. Did you just say you pray before meals every day? Yes. Is there anything wrong with that? But that was the first time since you got here that you prayed before a meal. Therefore? Maybe I remember it wrong. But what does that have to do with the case? Although I'm not sure whether this is related to the case, I hope you can recall why today you suddenly remember praying before meals. Very well. Bah oui, c'est facile de ça. Usually, whenever there is a chance, I pray before meals. In the past few days, to respect the sensibilities of the tavern's owner, I did not mention praying before meals. Today is Christmas, and I thought that it made sense to have a short pre-meal prayer on this particular holiday. Besides, there were others who asked me to do so. Huh. Tsarn choice? What do you mean? What do you mean by out of respect for Tsarn? It seems that he is not so passionate about faith. So you didn't forget to pray these days, but rather you dare not? Maybe you can say that. Harry looked on the side, and his voice grew quiet. What do you mean it's normal? That means when I was in the monastery? Christmas prayer should be normal. Yes. So were you the first one who thought about praying? I was about to say. Wait, did anyone else want you to do this? Yes. Why didn't you say so earlier? How should I know? Is that important? Of course. It's very likely that whoever proposed it is a criminal. That was not me. It was. The hyena just wanted to make us believe that he initiated the prayer, but now he was done. It was Vincel. What? Wait a minute. Didn't you propose to pray before the meal? I'm trying to remember who said it. Whatever. Aaron suggested to pray before meal, and Zux went upstairs to get his rosary, then... okay. And Aaron suggested to pray before meal. Yep. What is it? Well, it is... that's it, of course. Of course not. Sire? Bon, on va aller prendre un autre parce qu'on peut pas se servir de ces deux-là. On va essayer de voir. Non. Non, il a personne qui en parle. Il a personne qui en parle. Vincent, on s'en fout. Non, il y a personne d'autre. Vincent said the prayer before the meal was Erin's own proposal. It wasn't me. That's what I said, so he'd be acquitted and free me. I turned to look at the links. Do you have anything to say, Vincent? I indeed remembered Erin to pray. But why would you think that means that I would murder someone? If I wanted to kill Enzax, why didn't I just let Enzax go upstairs and help me pick something up? Why would I bother to remind Erin to remember to pray before the meal? What if he went upstairs by himself? Impossible. Anyone who has been in the tavern these days will find out. You can use Erin to get to Enzax. Why? I could use Erin to get Enzax into the trap. Parce que Erin bossait Enzax pour les 2 derniers jours. In the past few days, Erin has often called on Enzax and asked him to do things for him, like pouring him drinks and taking a spoon. So it was natural for him to get the rosary upstairs, because the murderer took advantage of Enzax's tendency to help Erin and used it to set up a trigger for the trap. And who, among us, do you think is most familiar with traps, alibis, and crime of this sort? You, my good detective. And is it not true that the tomcat over there is also suspicious? Boop. Gilligan flexed her paws quietly, her claws sliding out. Therefore, if the murderer used a trap to kill someone, I assume only a Roman can do it. That's true. I do know these things because of my profession. But I'm sure everyone in this room, even Enzax, can come up with 1 or 2 simple traps like that. Only 3 things are needed to make the trap in this case. The wooden handle, the rosary, and the key to Erin's room. Let's start with the wooden handle. The handle was broken upwards. What? Ah! Just à cause de ce qui s'est dit tantôt. I remember that the handle wasn't done that way. Ah yes, I forgot that one key piece of evidence. The handle was broken downwards. After breaking the handle, the suspects inserted the handle back into the slot. Is there any evidence to support your theory? It's pure speculation. It's not, because we can prove that the suspect inserted the handle back in it. À propos des shards, there are no color deposition on the splinter. The splinter was blunt. Because the splinter were broken. After the suspects broke the handle, he inserted back in the direction of the splinters and pressed it tightly. This way, the friction between the splinters would cause the handle to get stuck there. If he properly... il se gratte encore avec son... en dessous de ses gants. If he properly adjusts the handle, it would support the wooden ladder. But when someone wanted to lower the ladder and started to untie the rope, the handle would come loose, and the ladder would fall unexpectedly from overhead. In the process of reinserting the handle back in and loosening it, it is inevitable to break a few splinters. So the suspect should have done just that. That sounds reasonable, but it still brings us no closer to identifying the suspect. Then there is the rosary. When we found Enzax, the rosary was on his back, and he was knocked down by a ladder that suddenly fell. That shows that. Where was the rosary? That shows that the rosary was left on his own after he was knocked down. That doesn't make sense. The scene was watched. Starn blocked the staircase, so no one could get through. That is true. That shows the rosary was on the ladder. If Hendrix saw what he was looking for on the ladder, it was natural for him to lower the ladder. C'est pour ça tantôt je vous dis, j'étais un peu mêlé. Parce que quand on a cliqué pour aller parler de rosary puis du ladder, je pensais qu'il allait parler de ça, mais non. Roman a été parlé du fait qu'il était sur son dos. Pourquoi? En tout cas, je sais pas. C'était bizarre. Then the ladder fell on Enzox, and the rosary hanging on the ladder will fall on his back. Parce qu'on n'a pas senti le dos de Enzox. Puis là, il a parlé du... En tout cas, je trouvais ça vraiment weird. But why did Enzox check the ladder? Check the ladder. If he were looking for the rosary, he would definitely not look there. He would only find it in Erin's room. Because Erin's room was locked, and Zox couldn't open the door. And when he turned to go downstairs to ask Erin for the key, he saw the rosary hanging on the ladder. He would naturally reach out to pull the twine wrapped around the handle, trying to lower the ladder to get the rosary. That just triggered the trap to set up by the criminal. Next is Erin's key. Thanks to Erin's testimony, we now know that his room is generally unlocked. His key was on the nightstand. He hadn't moved it. According to Tsarn, there are 2 keys to each room in the tavern. Then the second key was... What was the second key? The key holder. Was on the key holder in the attic. Ah non! Il était sur dans le porte-clés. C'est vrai qu'ils sont donnés aux guests. C'est vrai. C'est ces clés-là. J'oublie tout le temps ce détail-là. So the second key... The keychain. By the way, it seems like my keys disappeared for a while this morning. At first, I thought I was confused. But now it seems that maybe the murderer took my keychain? When did you find out the keychain was missing? I put it on the counter then went down the cellar. When I returned, it was gone. When did you rediscover it? After playing a round of darts, I found it on the counter. Ça correspond exactement au moment où Vincel était parti et est revenu. In this case, there is enough time for the murderer to bring the keychain upstairs, lock the door, and then return. In other words, the killer should be someone who approached the counter while Sarn entered the cellar and went upstairs while the keychain was lost. When the keychain reappeared, the killer should also be near the counter. Quick Q&A. Nice. Please click the moving icon for answering. Fait qu'on sait c'est qui. Faut juste... Ouais, c'est ça que... Ça, on peut même pas choisir les autres. Je trouve toujours ça drôle. Ok, premièrement, weapon. The weapon is... What is the weapon? On a-tu le ladder? The weapon is the ladder. Enzox was hit by the ladder. The wound can support the deception. Beside the murderer, could Handley perform his trick in front of everyone else? Okay. Method. Hey. Modus operandis. Let's talk about how this happened. Ok, faut les réarranger dans un ordre, l'ordre chronologique que ça s'est passé. Comme vous voyez, il y en a 7, il y en a 2 qui n'ont aucun rapport avec comment ça s'est passé. Donc, on va voir comment, comment tout ça s'est passé. Okay. Donc, tout d'abord, on sait que c'est pas ça. Le suspect n'a pas parlé à Enzox du tout. Il a passé par Erin. Fait qu'on sait que le toit est là. Probablement que le toit est vers là-bas. Ok? Fait que probablement en dernier même. Ok? Le suspect a brisé la poignée, puis l'a remis en place. On sait que ça a un rapport. Mais probablement vers le milieu. Pris la keychain probablement dans le début. Took the rosary away. Ça oui. Là, la seule affaire qui nous manque à savoir. Fait que, on aurait en fait. On aurait qu'il a pris la keychain en premier. Ok? Il a pogné le rosary. Il l'a fixé au ladder. Puis il a brisé le handle. Ok? Il n'y a aucune corde qui a été manigancée avec. Puis il n'y a aucunement été upstairs. Donc ça serait pas mal notre style. Ça se peut qu'on en ait des pas bonnes, on va voir. This is the sequence of events. That's it. First right. Good. Maintenant, les suspects. I think the murderer is... Who is the murderer? C'est clairement notre ami Vincent. He works at the spice merchant. He's staying in the room next door to mine. C'est lui. He always wears gloves. Seems like he's more afraid of the cold than me. It's Vincent. Why are you always against me? I'm not taking it personally. I have got little proof that you are the murderer. What? What evidence do you have? I went upstairs right before you and the handle was in perfect shape. Who else could it be? Le motif. La raison du pourquoi. When it comes to the motivation. Can I just like what had happened between Sean and Kane? They knew each other before and separated because of conflicts? No. I think it's impossible. Firstly, they rarely communicated today. I don't think they would keep their confidence if they met before. Secondly, if Enzux owned Vincel something and Vincel want to murder him, Enzux should at least take precaution. In a nutshell, I think Vincel's real motivation is... Il serait un random murderer? Ou c'est quelqu'un d'autre? En fait, ça pourrait pas être quelqu'un d'autre. Parce qu'il a fait exprès d'envoyer Enzux en haut, right? Quand il a parlé à Erin, il savait que Enzux allait être envoyé en haut. À part, s'il savait pas. Right? S'il savait pas, puis il a targeté Erin. Ça se pourrait, ça. Maybe his target wasn't Enzux, but someone else. So obviously we can find the motivation from Enzux. I overestimated our famous detective, Roman. Wait, what are you talking about? My target is very definitive from the very beginning. It is Enzux. Wait, pardon? My only target is I didn't expect that you will admit it so quickly. Vincent clenched his fist and let out an angry gargle in his throat. Okay, I lose. It was me, Enzux. Yeah, right. C'est sûr que ça fait du sens que France. I have to admit that you are so gentleman when you plead you're guilty. Then would you like to tell us your motivation? Anyway, you have already confessed your crime? No, thanks. Okay, so I am curiosity. I guess we have to continue. Although the motivation is not clear at all, now that the Lynx has pleaded guilty, let's start to summarize the case. In other words, Vincel has started to set his trap in the morning. In the morning, Sarn explained the situation to us and suggested that everyone try to stay together in the hall and only leave the room one at a time. While this would avoid incident between two people, it also gave Vincel the chance he needed. Utilizing the rule that only one person could go upstairs at a time, he had enough time to set the trap without worrying about being caught. It was suspicious to let Enzux go upstairs to trigger the mechanism directly. Unfortunately, Vincel knew that someone could order Enzux around, namely Erin. Vincel took something from the counter while Sarn was busy in the cellar. C'est ça, je me suis juste contredit moi-même finalement. That was the keychain, the tavern keychain. He took the keys that Sarn had removed from his waist and left on the counter. Then went upstairs to open the door, took the rosary from Erin's room and hung it from the ladder. But Vincel made a mistake. He didn't know that Erin never locked his door. So when he came out, he locked the door like everyone else. He broke the handle of the ladder, then started it back in place and went downstairs. Until dinner, no one went upstairs to trigger the trap, and Vincel's plot was more than successful. At dinner, once Vincel reminded Erin to pray before dinner, Erin asked Enzux to go upstairs. Enzux went upstairs and found that the door was locked and looked around. Seeing the rosary hanging on the ladder, he naturally reached out to undo the twine around the handle. The rope came loose with the handle, and the ladder fell down the guideway, hitting Enzox. This is your blood, Vincel, am I right? The lynx kept his eyes wide open and pulled the glove back and forth. His sweat dripped down from the ends of the fur. All right, you win. So what do you intend to do with me? We will bring you to justice, of course. Tarn, picked up a length of twine, cut Vincel from behind, and tied his hands. Il n'y a pas juste ses mains qui ont été tied, sérieux. Just starting someone isn't a capital crime. Don't you know that? Shut up! How? Not so hard! Bonne nuit, Majestic. Merci d'être passé. Be gentle with my wrist. You are no longer a guest. You're a dangerous criminal who endangered the safety of my guest. Why should I treat you gently? Vincel glared at me, trying to get rid of the rope that bound his hands behind him. Untie me, you wretched son of a... Sarn grabbed Vincel around his chest and hoisted him easily into the air. Vincel screamed silently, bearing all of his teeth, and the breath whooshed out of his lungs. Oh man, il l'a mis dans le cellar. I just cleaned up the cellar this morning. Perfect place for a bastard like you to spend a Merry Christmas. Vince stretched his neck and bent down, trying to sink his teeth into Tarn's arm. Tarn turned around and pressed Vincel's head inside. Don't force me to gag you! Vincel was still trying vainly to bite Tarn as he reached out to a pile of clutter and junk. Here, let me give you a hand. No! You don't want to touch it! Is that the smelly cleaning cloth in the kitchen? Tarn grabbed something on top of the pile of clutter and stuffed it into Vincel's mouth. Vincel's eyes went wide and he began to shake his head, trying to spit it out. From its color and texture, it looks like Vincel had one of Tarn's unwashed sock in his mouth. He's right, I don't want to touch that. I could smell it from here. Tarn slung Vincel over his shoulder and walked past us. Solar covered her nose with an handkerchief. I started feeling sorry for Vincel, having something like that in his mouth, unable to escape the smell. Must be torturing him right now. The others left the attic after Tarn and Vincel. I sat back in Zach's bed, clutching his unconscious tail in my hand. Something is wrong. What? I believe I took the physical examination part seriously? No, the motive. Motive? But he refused to explain his action. That's a bit strange. But the thing is, he also admitted to committing the crime. What's in it for him, if the murderer isn't him? Sure, some merchants would betray their own mothers if they stood to gain a profit, but I can't think of any composition that can make Vincel plead guilty on Christmas. No, there's just something that bothers me. I will think about it. Creevy exhaled and relaxed. If there's nothing else to do in the attic, let's go downstairs. I have been waiting for that Christmas feast. Speaking of which, Mr. Detective, are you okay? Uh-oh, what just happened on the blackened? You just suddenly fell backward. Fortunately, you were on the bed. Otherwise, it would have hurt. Oh, I'm fine. You must be starving. Can you still go downstairs? Go enjoy your stew. Maybe. I'll try. I slowly stood up with elegant support, dragging my weak legs down the stairs. The aroma of stew seemed to linger in the corridor, although I knew that it was just pure imagination. The stew must be stone cold after such a long time. Even the tallow in the broth will form a creamy layer of fat on the surface. The scent seems to become stronger, but there was no sign of stew on the table. You came just the right time! Tarn brought a pot of steaming stew from the kitchen. The others weren't in the mood for stew and returned to their rooms after having bread and cold meat. I was worrying that no one would eat my stew. Gimme! Just a second. Jordan poured out 2 bowls of stew and then ladled a large portion into my bowl with almost all meat and surprisingly little broth. Actually, I have all you want. I can't finish this. Actually, I prefer broth more. Thanks. I bowed my head and devoured my stew. After being warmed up, the meat was almost torn apart by the heat. The muscle fibers were slightly separated, and the fibers on the outer edge were almost peeled off. The broth was also much thicker than usual, but I was too hungry to be picky. I just wanted to fill my stomach quickly. After 3 bowls of stew, I stopped eating, licked my lips, and looked around. Elegant was still slowly lapping the broth with her tongue. The spoon on the table was left unused. Tarn didn't seem to be very satisfied with his work. He ate a half bowl and put it down with a sigh. Excuse me, I need to take some up to the two in the attic while it's still up. Please enjoy yourself. I also need to repair the ladder later. Tarn reached into his pocket and put a dagger into my hand. Here, I found this on Vincel. Keep an eye on it. Sharon went upstairs with a bowl of stew in each hand. I began to wonder how he would climb up the ladder. Le premier meurtre a été fait avec une dague. Pourquoi que Vincel avait une autre dague, right? Est-ce que c'est la même dague? You say you are on vacation, and yet you come across cases one after the other. One after another. You are quite a workaholic. Don't act like I'm enjoying this. I think you... Roman, let's talk. What? In private. Yanis glanced at Elegant, who was still sitting next to me. Enjoy yourself. I think I shall return to my room. Elegant walked upstairs, but I felt she would be eavesdropping upstairs. I hate to do this, but could you pay me back some of the money I lent you? What? I didn't exactly plan to stay here this long. Now my money is running out. Right. I still got some of my payment from my last case. Is 1 real okay? Maybe a little more? I know. I usually don't push it this hard, but... 1.5? Take it or leave. Alright. Can you break it down to 105 cents for me? Dennis took the large handful of copper coins from me and stuffed them into his pocket. Really sorry for asking you to pay me back in this situation. It's okay. Everyone has difficulties sometimes. I waved my hand and went upstairs. I did not expect you to be so wealthy. Are you trying to make a joke? How should I know? You really don't have any other clothes, are you? If I did, would I be dressed like this? Elegant leaned on the handrail of the staircase and rolled her eyes. So, pick up any clues for your investigation here? Same as yours. Nothing. The opportunities for me to sneak away without being noticed are few, so I have yet to have the chance to search thoroughly. I wonder... Speak! Is there anything you can let me know? Well... I suspect one of the Noble brothers must be still alive. Weren't they both killed? They were just buried under the debris, although no one has heard of them after that. And if a noble above the rank of baron is found to be corrupt, the punishment is... If there wasn't definitive proof, they will be deprived of all their title, properties, and fortune, and the crown will cut off the pinky of their right hand. The crown do not tolerate corruption among its noble, so there's chance they're still alive somewhere. Indeed. Is that relevant to your investigation? Probably not, but I think it may be related to the identity of my client. I thought you said that you don't care about anything except money. That is true. But I do get curious from time to time. You're weird. Elegant shrugged and turned her back to her room. I guess I should get some sleep. Considering I just had 3 bowls of soup, I should sleep well. I took off my boots, crawled under the quilt, pulled the sheet up over my stomach, and tried to fall asleep. Wow, you really brought some booze here. Of course I did. I don't care how fine that stuff is. Set it aside for now. After all, we have more important matters to tend to first. A drink first won't hurt. Well, if you insist. Cheers! I thought you would fail me. Do you really think I'm as weak as I look? I just thought I'm not good enough for you. Impossible. Come on, let me feel your temperature. Just my temperature? Don't you want to feel more than just that? All in due time, my darling. Oh, c'est un crime de passion. C'est un crime de passion. J'ai pas eu le temps de lire. Pas eu le temps de lire c'était quoi. I closed my eyes and lay flat on the bed. I could feel the stew in my belly slush slightly with every breath, the weight of it like an anchor in my gut. That's the problem when you eat too fast. The stomach is full, but the senses are starved of sensation. I usually sleep soundly when I have a full stomach, but I felt uncomfortable after stuffing myself with so much food. A series of rapid knocks echoed through my door. Who is it? Roman! It's me! What are you doing up this late at night? Hi! I'm scared! It will be fine. Just lock up your room and go to sleep. You'll be fine in the morning. Even though he said the words, I couldn't help but disagree with them. Still, I didn't know any other way to comfort someone in this sort of state after everything that had happened. But I'm still... I began to reach out to comfort Peter. But then, I heard the noise of the attic's ladder slowly coming down. Sarn climbed down, holding the candle in his hand. Everything good? I heard noise, so I thought I'd check in. That's fine. I just hope I didn't wake up anyone else. And again appeared at the door, disheveled and leaning against the frame. I believe you said that you were retiring early. Seems like this is quite the opposite. Then again, I suppose the same could be said of everyone else. I'm mostly just too full of sleep. How about the others? Are they still awake? I think sleep eludes most of us, except for exhaust. At any rate, I doubt anyone else would think it strange to still be awake this late. And I'm still afraid. Well then, could you bring everyone downstairs? We'll see if there's some way we can calm everyone down. Sarn's voice went stop, his gaze locked in the middle distance. The last thing we need is another mess. Sarn went downstairs with Peter, holding Peter's shoulders. He wants me to wake everyone up? What is he thinking about? I think he intends to put everyone at ease as best he can. If the tavern no longer makes guests feel safe and sound, then that would weigh heavily on his thought. Fetch the others. I think we could all use some comfort right now. Maybe it'd be safer if we all stayed in our rooms until the snowstorm stopped, like Sean and Kane. Alright, fine. Let me go get everyone and we can all think of some way to calm down. Okay. Aaron. I stood in front of Aaron's door. I knock on Aaron's door. Yes? It's Roman. Aaron opened the door and smiled. Have you come to me in this dark hour too? Sorry to disappoint you, but Sarn wanted me to bring everyone downstairs. He wanted to discuss the safety measure. Oh, I see. Aaron's smile froze. I will be there. Okay, man. C'est animal sur un temps, hein? I stood in front of the luminous door. As I approached the door to the suite, I could hear a muffled agreement coming from behind the door. I pressed my right ear against the wooden door and held my breath. The only good thing about having a deep left ear is that I wouldn't get distracted by other noises while eavesdropping. Qu'est-ce que j'aurais dû faire? Hein? How would I know that we would be trapped here in this tavern? So I told you, time and time again, that there was nothing wrong with coming to Rimph a few days early. You instead on leaving it the last possible sound. You insisted on leaving at the last possible second. Oh, and are you saying that you predicted this blizzard? Es-tu une petite sorcière, mon amour? Should I blame you also for what would have happened if I abandoned my days earlier? You know as well as I do that your subordinate can handle things in your absence, but you just couldn't leave the well enough alone. But missing the king's banquet is not something you could afford. Your reputation can bear another. I kept my ear on the door. It didn't seem like they were going to stop. Do you think I know? I know better than you ever could. Don't be so emotional. I understand you're anxious, but it won't help us solve the problem. Solve the problem? Mon Dieu, the problem is I should be offering our gift to the king at this moment, but now? Our horses are dead, our carriage is broken, we're trapped in this miserable little tavern, and even our trusted servant tried to frame me for murder. I kept listening to their endless carol. My neck was starting to hurt. Which is why I suggested we depart earlier, in case these sort of things. Bah! You expect me to believe that? No. You just wanted to make a longer trip here in Rimph. And what of it? Last time you... As I knocked on the door, the quarrel suddenly stopped. How can I help you, Monsieur Detective? If nothing else, his emotional control is impressive. Sorry to disturb you, but Soren wants everyone to come down to the hall so we can come up with a way to keep everyone safe. N'oubliez pas qu'elle dit on est coincé avec lui ici. Il y a quelqu'un qui connaît ce qui est coincé là. Ah, I see. Okay, we will go to the street. The next step back and close the door. Elegant devrait être parti. I stood in front of Yannis' door. I knocked on Yannis' door. Who is it? Me, Roman. Yannis soon came to the door. Turn with everyone in the hall, so that we can discuss how we can protect everyone. Oh, sure, I'll be right away. He rubbed his eyes and walked by. This day ready. Je vais voir si Elegant est dans sa pièce. Actually lock the door. Peut-être qu'il y a du monde en haut. I climbed up into the dark attic. He was huddled up on his bed. It was hard to see him against the white bed linen. Suivez? He swiftly dusted off the covering and got up. What is that? Is Enzox awake? Or... Soren wants everyone to come to the hall. Even if I'm already in bed? He said he doesn't want us to feel too uncomfortable to sleep well. I don't see that as an issue for me. No need to worry. However, I can understand why some would have difficulty sleeping. Let me fetch a few things from my medicine box, and I'll join you shortly. Who do you want to talk to? What are you getting from your medicine box? Some sleeping pills. No need to worry, Detective. It's nothing a bit performing or potent. At best, it will only make people sleep easier. Alright then. How's Hansox doing? No worse, thank God. I can't tell when he'll wake up though. He could wake up tonight if things go well, otherwise... Fury look aside. Best not to think about that. I rub Hansox belly, feels good, so squishy. I didn't stop until Trivi started glaring at me like I was a naughty kid, a naughty child. I squished Enzok's face. A bit tough, a bit tough. Dragon's Kills is quite thick. Not thick enough though. Okay. All of the others are already downstairs. I should return as soon as possible. I walk down the spiral stairs to the hall. Okay. Since everyone is here, what's the best start? To start what? I apologize if I disturbed anyone's sleep, but as you all know, a lot has happened in this tavern recently. As the owner, I take some responsibility for failing to protect you all. If anyone has any idea on how we can stay safe till the end of the snowstorm, I'd like to hear them now. Could we all just stay in our room and let Sarn deliver our meals separately? That might put Sarn in danger if he's alone. Admittedly, I doubt anyone here will be a match for Sarn physically, but still. I do have a proposal, but you probably won't agree with it. What is it? I can mix up a full strength sleeping draught and have everyone drink it. Then we shall simply sleep through the weather. No one would agree to that. I'm not saying I don't trust you, Doc, but there's no way that's happening. Anyone have a more plausible idea? No offense, Doctor. Just relatively... Sarn caught a glimpse of Ruby's face, looked aside and stopped talking. How about we let someone we all trust keep watch at night? As effective as a night watch may be, is there anyone here we all trust completely? I hate to admit it, but she had a point. Elegance seems untrustworthy and mysterious. If Peter or Trevi kept my watch at night, they'd be easy target given their size. Sarn is overwhelmed, yet is, well, he probably spent the night drinking. To be honest, and I may be wrong, but something feels weird about Erin. Lunich is too agitated, and Sarn never leave his side. Neither of them seem up to the task. It's not gonna work. How about we get our mugs filled first? You really think it's the right time for that? To be fair, it's not unreasonable. We took out a little glass bottle. This is tincture of valerian root. To drop a bit, it's enough to calm one's nerves. It should help us manage for the night. I thought we discussed using a sleep. I have no intention of forcing on anyone, madam. At least give me some credit. Although it does make you drowsy at high dosage. Sarn tapped me on the shoulder. Mind getting a few cups for everyone from the cellar? Alright, let's go. Sure. Ouais, il est incroyable. Hey, il a plus de bon en bouche. I walked down the cellar with a bunch of mugs. Oh, it seems I have a visitor. I shrugged, trying to ignore Vincent's glaring eyes. Even prisoners deserve bread and water. Could you show a bit of mercy for our starving? Tell your crap to Enzox. Thorn looked away, turned on the tap, and filled all the mugs. All right, everyone gets one mug. Anyone who wants it can get some medicine from Trivi. Solar and Peter came up to Trivi at almost the same time, handing their mugs to him. Doctor, might I have a bit extra? But me too. I've been bed as soon as I finish it. Very well. Trivi placed the bottle against the rim of Solar's mugs and dribbled the bit into the ale. He returned and only tapped 2 drops into Peter's mug. Why the hell do I only get 2 drops? Because I'd rather not be responsible for an overdose. Thank you. Peter started to argue, but wilted under Trivi's glares. This isn't a matter of discrimination. Medicine is not something to be trifled with. I won't be a party of reckless stupidity just because you have a size complex. You, fine. Whatever! Peter gulped down his drug ale, slammed the mug down on the table, and went upstairs with staggered steps. I too will be going to bed. Alone. Good night, everyone. J'aime pas qu'elle ait spécifié le alone. Thora courtsied elegantly and stepped up the stairs, the swirl of her fancy dress barely hiding her lashing tail. Yannick snapped his finger at Treevy and pointed to Lunich and his mug. Mind giving us some too, Dutch? Treevy muttered something under his breath and walked over to the counter with a bottle. Merci, doctor. Lunich raised his mug and nodded slightly. It's okay. No matter what happened, alcohol always help. Lunich smirked and reached out his hand to Yanis. You sure you want to shake hands with me, Marty? Yannick's hands hesitated, only to be firmly grabbed by the witch. He drew lightly across his palm with his thick finger. You know, if you're having wife troubles, you could stay in my room. I may consider that of her. I suppose there's one benefit to being a bachelor. I don't have to worry about my wife kicking you out of the bedroom. Anybody ready yet? If not, I just keep watch down here. Lunich slapped his hand on the counter and stood up. No, it is I who will keep watch tonight. Marquis, it might be... No. I am of a noble house of Orlok, and with that privilege come the noblesse oblige to protect the common people. So, I see it's the time I live up to my obligation. I will keep watch for the night, and you can have a sound sleep. I'm not sure whether he's doing this out of embarrassment over being unpicked or foolish pride. I guess there's a first time for everything. I'm head back to my room. On ne peut plus nous. I'm not sure I trust Lunich's motivation for keeping watch, but if he's even halfway competent, then he should be fine. I'd feel safer if I keep watch, but I'm exhausted physically and mentally. Probably because I got woken up early. It's already midnight, time to sleep. I buried myself in the linen. Okay, tabarnan. Good, j'ai aucune idée c'est quoi le titre pour vrai du chapitre 3. Le chapitre 2? Non, chapitre 3. Day 4, Day 4, 26 December, 1285. Today is Boxing Day. Really, my Boxing Day à leur période en 1281. No way. No freaking way. C'est comme pas possible. Il y a pas déjà, je m'excuse, là, je vois beaucoup, mais heureusement, il n'y a pas eu beaucoup de paroles de Yannis cette fois-là. When I was a pup, my father always gave me a seat to donate to the church today. He'd always say the intention is more important than the amount. He asked me to donate it, mainly because the amount was sort of pathetic. The clergy would roll their eyes if he did it himself. I feel so tired, but I just woke up. What's going on? I tried to reach for the open window. The wind sucked all the heat from the room. Where the window should be closed, effectivement. I got up and sat on the side of the bed. The front of my head was pounding. My nostrils felt like they were stuffed with cotton. I couldn't smell or even breathe. Oh no! I closed the window. The movement pushed away the snow on the sill. My head hurts. Maybe some food can help me get better. You awake now? Thorn saw me walking down the stairs and gestured to an upright table. There was a plate of white bread with some roast meat from last night, a scoop of gravy, and a cup of cider. First decent breakfast I've had the whole time I've been here, and now I can't smell anything. Figures. Ça nous aidera pas pour le prochain cas. Have a good one! It looks like everyone else has eaten and has broken off into little groups to talk. I dipped a piece of bread into the gravy and ate. I should probably talk to some of the others when I'm done. Gauge how everyone's feeling. Okay, let's go. Who do you want to talk to? I sat beside Erin. Il est tellement louche. Il est tellement louche comme personnage. Yes, morning to you, my child. Morning to you too. Erin looked anxious and his cup holding and was shivering. You're right? Horrible incident this Christmas. Rough circumstances bring out the worst in people. Like when a bunch of strangers are trapped in a limited space. This must be God's punishment. Seriously? It is the holy time. God walks upon the land, and the unrighteous are devoured by their sin and iniquity, as is only just. How in the hell does that sound just? Last I checked, being imperfect didn't exactly cause us a sin. Or are you saying that Cain and his ox deserve what happened to them? No, you're right, detective. I apologize. It has to just be a coincidence, yes? Who would you want to talk to? Elegant sat alone beside the fireplace, sipping the content of her mug. Good morning! Morning! Elegant set her mug aside. Why did you come up with that conclusion last night? Which conclusion? You will have to be more specific. You said that one of the double brothers is still alive. That was my conclusion, yes. Why would you be interested in him? The mystery client might be. Out of desire for truth. The client discovered something strange, so he requested you check it out. That hardly covers everyone. In my experience, most people do not care about such things if it has nothing to do with them. So, I should say the client is one of the parties involved in the collapse. You mean your client might be the one who survived? That is unlikely, but plausible. At least one person with a crossed-out name survived. You doubt me? Even now? As I said before, I am investigating on my own affair. By the way, what do you think Vincel's motive was? I think it would be better to ask him directly before I offer any speculation. He is still alive after all. You need not even go down into hell to ask this ghost. Ok, ça va me faire. I stepped away, Elegant picked up her mug again. Take care! Who do you want to talk to? Nunich was asleep at one of the tables, while Solar sat at the counter. As I approached, I saw her gingerly pick up the coat that had begun slipping down Nunich's back. She tucked a few strands of hair under her hat, looked around, and noticed approach. Huh? Good morning, detective! Solar turned to me and smiled. Now I kind of miss her smell. Morning, Marquis? Sorry for my presumption, but how do you feel about the Marquis? You have a sharp nose, detective! I tried not to sniffle too loudly, but she quickly appended. Metaphorically, of course. How do I feel? My husband is very responsible. He cares greatly of his holding in the veil, and even handles many of the matters personally. Wasn't that what you two were agreeing about? Some of her peers think it's a weakness, but I disagree. And what do we do? Bicker from time to time, and always apologize afterward. As long as you're fine with it. I can't help but be curious about you. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions? What's your interest, Mr. Detective? A lady with lots of stories, then, I wonder. You're hometown. Where did you come from? From the south, the Principality of Cordova. I believe it used to be called the Kingdom of the Stripes. Because of the tiger stripes, I assume? Indeed. I've been away from home for too long. I miss Cordova, and now and then, especially on cold nights like this. Ah, pardon my moment of nostalgia. Intéressant. How about the tavern? How do you feel about the White Star? It's quite decent, despite the recent incident. It's not exactly luxurious, but the bed linens are soft, and it's well kept. I'm surprised by how good the food is. If I may be honest, I'm usually not one for taverns, but this may be the exception. The security issues may need some attention, however. So have you and the Marquis made up after last night? Ah, I do hope our argument didn't disturb you, detective. Sorry, conceal her expression with a key. I think I leave her to tend to her sleeping husband. Pas eux autres. Il y a juste eux autres dans le hall? Wait. Vincent was sitting in a worn chair, his head bowed and his hands bound. He squinted and turned away from the bright light coming through the door. Are you taking me to the court, my good detective? I'm guessing you're not going to tell me why you tried to kill Enzox. Would it earn me clemency if I did? Probably not. Then no. You have nothing to offer, and I have no interest in satisfying your petty curiosity. I could contact some of my acquaintances in the district tribunal. Ah, splendid! It seems all that talk about justice, Ella, really is just nonsense. Or maybe you're just asking so you can indulge some sex fetish of yours? No, I'm not. Huh. Do you have any idea what your sentence would be? Spend a night in jail, pay a fine at court, and then go about my business. Better than listening to you while stuck in this cold, dark cellar. I'm guessing you're not Non, c'est exactement la même affaire. Bon. Charlie leaned against the stove and sighed. About Vincel. How is Vincel doing in the cellar? On vient d'aller le voir, Still alive, last I checked. By the way, if you are going to the cellar, take this to him. Soren handed me a plate with a slice of stale bread and a few chunks of cold, stewed liver. Okay. Is Enzox alright? Curie says he's fine, so there shouldn't be any serious issues. Although, I kind of miss listening to his lute all night. Did you sleep well last night? It took a while, but yeah. At least I'm not so nervous now. That's good. On retourne dans le cellar, guys. Are you just here to yell at me? Nope, I brought you some food. Thanks. I raised the plate beside his face. His jaw snapped at empty air a few times before he finally bit down on the bread. I considered just holding the bread to his mouth, but he could eat it easier. But he pulled the entire piece into his mouth and chewed quietly. Finished the bread, Vincent glared at his plate, then turned his head away. Already full? Hardly, my good detective. But I'd rather starve than eat cold a half-cooked liver. Es-tu prêt à parler? Non. Il n'est pas passé dans les toilettes, c'est sûr. Je suis go to the bathroom and comb my hair. I look like a stag. What? Peter Peter just jumped up from the mirror as I opened the door. Haven't you heard about Lucky? Sorry. I didn't know you were in here. You scared me! Peter clutched at his chest and was breathing heavily. I gently pat Peter's head, trying to not to mess up his hair. Peter's ears twitch, but he seems to calm down. When you were talking about equality in Napoleon, you weren't just talking about species, right? Certainly. For example, the nobility have the right to refuse searches and can only be judged by fellow nobles. What do you mean? I mean that common-born judges literally can sit in judgment over the nobility. But a lot of judges have noble titles. But it still doesn't make it fair. Besides, common folk like us usually end up with archer punishment too. By the way, did you have time to write that letter? Well, let me think about it first. I may come up with some ideas by tomorrow. Thanks. J'espère qu'il mourra pas avant ça. Are you okay? I'm still scared. Scared? Lunik kept watch last night. Nothing happened. What are you afraid of now? That's true, but I'm still... Maybe you should go ask Tarn for a stiff drink to calm you down. Maybe. They closed the door quietly and went back to the hall. Okay. Est-ce quelqu'un dans le corridor? Ouais, silent. Bon, y'a personne. On va le voir en haut. Kirby was reading his heavy book beside Enzo's bed. Who do you want to chat with? How is Enzo doing? Very much the same as last time, you ask. Good. In case you were wondering, the quality of my sleep improved dramatically without this constant loot strumming. If I didn't know better, I would have suspected Trevi was dragging Enzo so he could sleep better. I couldn't blame him though. So much for my Christmas vacation. I do appreciate your work, detective. Same. I imagine you weren't expecting to be a coroner over Christmas. Oh. Zax is still laying there. Perhaps some sort of stimulus could wake him? He should be awake by now. I wonder why. Pull his tail. I tug on his tail. It didn't come free like a geckos. I pick up the loot and pluck the string. And Zax's tail twitched. He moved! Saying it was slightly effective. I pluck another string. And Zax's tail twitched on the other side. So his tail is the only moving part. I kept on playing the loot. And Zax's tail trembled a little. Seems he's too lazy to move. I take his tail. I pluck the string. And Zax didn't move. Well, that's it. Yanis, on n'a pas vu Yanis. I knocked on the door, there was no response. Yanis? Still no response. Still asleep? That's a new record, even for him. No. Maybe Trevi gave him too much last night? Not even possible. Trevi clambered down the ladder. I only gave him 3 drops, so he should be awake by now. Is it possible that he's so sensitive to the medication that a small dosage will keep him knocked out for this long? I certainly doubt it. Not with how much he drinks. Anyway, let's take a look. Thorn removed the key from his chain and opened Yanis' door. Oh, jump puzzle, guys. The air inside the room was freezing cold. Got a frigid wind all through the window like an angry ghost. The normally pungent smell of blood was whisked away by the snow wind, to the point where it was untraceable. Yanis, laying on his bed, his chest was covered with rusty blood, mixed with icy crystal like the snow. Tarn recoiled, as if he'd been struck, the keychain clattering onto the carpet. The window swung weakly in the wind, letting out a shrill creaking noise with each sway. Tarn leaned against the wall, wide-eyed and breathing heavily. Why? Why Yanis was? Detective, I'll take Tarn downstairs. Can you take care of the scene? I'm fine. I just need a few minutes. Tarn sat in the corridor. I found focus at a distance. I will inspect the body then. Trevi stepped through the door, stretched out Yanis' bed linen and covered his body. Another murder. I need the key first. The keys first of all. Search start. Ouh! Ça a été beaucoup plus rapide que la dernière fois qu'il y a eu un meurtre, n'est-ce pas? Mais je ne pense pas qu'on ait le temps de tout résoudre ça là. Il est 10h30, ça a pris quasiment 1h30 de résoudre l'autre meurtre. Non, je pense qu'on va mettre fin à ça pour ce soir pour l'instant. Qu'on va garder le meurtre pour prochain jeudi aventure.